On Saturday, December the 4th, live on Fox Sports 507 and KO, you'll see a domestic boxing card with massive ramifications. I'm Ben Damon, really looking forward to calling the action on Saturday, December the 4th. We're going to see Opetaia back in action. Of course, he's just about due to fight for a world title next year. Browne returns against Django Opetaia in a heavyweight fight, and we'll also see the world number 11 at middleweight, Issac Hardman. I'm going to talk to three of those fighters right now, starting with Opetaia, who is on the cusp of a world title shot against Browne, likely in Australia in 2022. Jai, to get through to that fight though, you have to get past another opponent. You've had the unsettlement of having a change in opponent this week as well. How do you feel about facing Daniel Russell?
Mate, I feel unreal. This is one of the best camps I've ever had. I'm injury free, and as everyone knows, I've got my left hand operation and it's fully healed, and I've never felt so strong and fit. So it's they've chopped and changed a few opponents, but it's just been full guns blazing for me. I've just been training hard, and it doesn't matter who they put in front of me. Yeah, I have no doubt my hand will be raised after the fight.
Yeah, we've talked about that left hand a lot. It has caused you a lot of issues throughout your career. Just how much better are you feeling this close to a fight without any pain?
Yeah, it's unreal how much difference it's actually made. I got so used to having the bad left hand that I forgot what it was like to sort of not go to training and not be in pain. So just being more focused, and everything's just so much better. Everything's improved. We look forward to going to the gym now. You know what I mean? We don't resent it because our sparring's been a lot better. We get more rounds out, so everything's just improving. And I look forward to showing everyone on 4th of December.
We're looking forward to an announcement potentially after this fight that you do have that world title shot, and it will be in Australia. Does that add to the pressure that you're going to feel in this fight?
Man, there's no pressure. There is pressure, but I've always been searching for that world title. I've always been sort of moving towards it. So there's no extra pressure that already hasn't been there. It was always our goal to fight these big fights, and we knew we had to win them all. So it's just another day in the office for us, and I don't want people also to think, we're in the business of just competing for these world titles. We're winning world titles. We're going in there to make history. And, once we win this IBF, we want to win more after that. So, it's exciting times for me. So, man, I can't wait.
You watched that fight that Browne had most recently against Hardman. I'm sure you've gone back and watched a bunch of previous fights as well. How are you feeling the closer you get to this announcement that you're fighting against him for his world title?
Man, I'm feeling really good. Like I said, this has been one of the best camps I've ever had. Being able to get that a lot more sparring out because my left hand's good. My prior fights, it was a lot harder to get sparring. We'd have to stop sparring early, or we couldn't get as much sparring as we wanted leading up to a fight, just because of how much pain my left hand was giving me. But now that it's all fixed, there's nothing holding us back. We're at 100%. So.
I know you think that your movement is what can give Browne troubles in that world title fight. Do you try and work on that in this fight against Daniel Russell?
Yeah, it's not just my movement, man. I got a lot of power as well. People underestimate my power, and especially that the left hand's fixed, I can really sit down on my punches. I've stopped a lot of my opponents, and everyone, I've made some quit on the stool. It's not just about movement, it's about putting the punches together with the movement. But yeah, definitely, there's nothing stupid in this fight. We're going out to win a fight. But we're going to win convincingly. I can't wait to put on a good show. I haven't had a fight this year, due to the injury. But yeah, man, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's been a long time in between fights. How's it going to feel just getting back in the ring again?
Oh man, it's going to feel good. It's been a long time coming. I've taken the long road, getting this recovery done, and you know, it feels like forever. You know what I mean? Just when I was at the peak, you know, I got a few good wins, and then I had to get this hand surgery, and it brought me straight back down. So, you know, if it was up to me personally, I would have went straight for the world title. I think I'm ready, and like I said, I'm feeling good. But you know, Breedis is the one that wanted this warm-up fight. I didn't care about it. I wanted to fight for the world title, but you know, we're here now, and you know, we've trained 100%. We're ready to fight. So you know, we get this one out of the way, and then we're all looking forward to that world title.
Good show to be a part of as well, Jai. Some good names there and some really good fights. You must be looking forward to the event.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. It is a huge card. It's I reckon it's probably the best card that Australia's had this year. You know, there's a lot of good names on it. So, you know, I'm excited to be a part of it, and I'm excited that I get to make my sort of comeback on this card.
And what happens in your fight? Do you try and make some sort of a statement to Breidis and his team, or are you out there just trying to get through, get your win, and win on to your world title shot?
I don't see the fight going the distance. You know, I've been training too hard, and I'll be surprised if it does. But, you know, in saying that, there's no stupid stuff. We just we do what we do best, and we fight smart, and then if the knockout comes, it comes. Okay,
thanks so much, Jai Opetaia. We'll see you December 4.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Ben.
Also as part of this card, a heavyweight fight between former WBA heavyweight champion of the world Lucas Browne and Django Opetaia. And I'm now joined from Perth by Lucas Browne. Great to see you again, mate. We haven't seen you for a little while, since that fight against Paul Gallen, in fact. How do you look back on what happened that night and everything that's happened since?
Mate, it is what it is. You sort of just got to accept what happened and move forward. A lot of the people, Australia-wide, obviously, sort of took it as, okay, you should retire, etc. But if you didn't hit me in the back of the head 5 times and pop my eardrum, it would have been a lot better. But mate, these things happen. He's the cash cow of that event, so I've just got to keep moving forward. So yeah, coming off a loss, I've trained my ass off. I'm ready to go, and it's time to prove myself once again that I can. You know, keep going, keep fighting, all the rest of it. So that's where I'm at the moment.
And as is always the case with you, you're coming off a couple of fights falling over as well. One with Alan Babbage, a couple of others as well. How many fights do you think you've had fall over through the course of your professional boxing career?
Through the entire career, mate, I'm up to about 20. And there's always something going wrong. It's either changing a date or the opponent pulls out the day before. There's always something. And that's just boxing. I've come to sort of just realise that that's what happens. Unfortunately, due to COVID, as you can imagine, 4 of my international fights have fallen through. So, you know, way back in March last year when I was supposed to fight in Vegas, that was going to be a nice little bucket list thing for me, and that fell through. So there's been Vegas, there's been 2 UK fights, and also the Christian Thun one in Dubai. So I've just got to fight at home to make sure I stay busy, keep going with what I'm doing, and then hopefully something happens shortly before I get too old and I can go back overseas and fight again.
So when the name Django Opetaia was mentioned to you, that was a fight that you were more than happy to jump into?
Mate, to be honest, it's always been on the cards. I do talk to Jamie Meyer here and there, and obviously he looks after Django, so it has always been on the cards. As you can imagine, I have been overseas or doing other things, so it hasn't quite happened. But at this point in time, it just makes sense. I'm at a point where I need a fight. He needs a fight, so why not?
Do you think you need to look good in this fight in order to get those opportunities internationally? Is it sort of an audition for another big payday for you?
So to speak. I think every fight's like that. Everyone only looks at your last fight. So, people look at my last fight with Gallen and say, oh, you should retire. But, previous to that, I've won a world title. So how do you sort of judge, you know what I mean? So I think from a spectator's point of view, I think that's definitely something that needs to be done. So I've got to look as good as I can. So I've been training very hard. I haven't been trying to cut weight, but I'm at a good weight. And I've been tanning, so that's always important.
Yeah, we've noticed that on your social media, amongst other things. What should we expect stylistically, do you think, from this fight? I think we know what Django Opetaia is going to do, but we've seen you do various things at different times in your career. What Lucas Browne do we see?
I think movement, like foot movement, is definitely going to be a big one in this one. Judging by the fact he's 5'10", I believe. my distance is always going to be a factor. So I've got to make sure the jab stays out, make sure he has to sort of come through that before he lands on the right hand or anything else. So definitely movement, my power, but distance will be the definite key in this one.
We haven't seen you be able to use your power for a little while. Do you still have it? Do you still have that enormous punching ability?
Mate, 100%. Unfortunately, I think it's one of those things where if you use it too much in sparring, in terms of not using my power, it sort of comes out in a fight. So, yeah, unfortunately, due to the fact with COVID and everything else and the lack of sparring partners, I haven't been able to sort of let go of the power like I wanted to. So, yeah, I've been sort of holding it back for too long. So I think you might see me very right-hand happy in this one.
What about your training? At different times, your preparation has been brought into question. You've trained yourself at times out of your garage and the like and sort of jumped between camps. Where are you at right now for this fight?
To be honest, mentally, I'm very good. I've gone through a few little things in life where obviously you started with the Gallen fight. I broke up with the fiancée as well. I've moved house. So I'm now further away from the gym, everything else. So I'm still back training myself in the garage. I still go around and spar everyone in different locations and stuff like that. But I believe for me, it's more mental. If I'm mentally correct and everything is right, I'm good. And I don't think I was quite there for the Gallen fight, unfortunately. There was too many things going on. But at this point, a happy fighter is a dangerous fighter, and I'm definitely in a good place mentally, so it's on.
That was your big opportunity. We talked about it before that Gallen fight. You'd won a world title, but this is what people were looking at. It didn't go the right way. Is this your chance, do you think, being back on TV in a decent level fight to sort of prove people wrong and show them what you're made of?
Yeah, 100%. I think I'm at that point in my career where it's going to have to be every fight for that. Being 42, everyone's going to look at me and think, oh, he's not the same. Something's changed. He's too old, all that sort of stuff. So I think every fight from here on in is going to be one of those things for me. And that's good because at one point I was just cruising, and it's not a good place to be in boxing because you get belted. So I think the fact that there is a little fire underneath me, but the fact that there's a level of fear, so to speak, where I need to prove myself. Otherwise, why am I doing it? So I think it's a very good place.
If you can win this fight, is there someone specific that you would like to fight anywhere around the world or here in Australia?
Here in Australia, someone like a Justice Hooney. I'd love to fight Paul Gallen again, but he said no immediately. Probably very smart of the man. There are a few fights overseas. There's a Kuzmin in Russia. Fun is still there. There's a few in UK. So at this point, it really does mean money. As long as it's money, that's all that matters to me at the moment. So I've won the world title. I've done what I need to do. So right now, it's about making some money before I cash out.
And what are we going to see from you on December the 4th and what happens in this fight with Django Opetaia?
Mate, I believe what needs to happen is for me to just bring that old Big Daddy back where I don't try and, impress the public by boxing. I just come out and fight. I just do what I do best. I fight, I punch people in the face and enjoy myself. And I think that's exactly where I need to be, where I just go back to a bit more primal and just punch people, and so I think that's the best thing. From my point of view, I think Django's going to come out all guns firing, which I'm expecting. But let's see how he goes in the 4th, 5th, 6th round when I'm still standing.
So we go back to what won you the world title?
Pretty much, mate, yeah. It works, so why not? You know what I mean? It definitely works, so I'm going to go back to that.
Yeah, certainly. All right. Great to talk to you as always, Lucas. You look well, and we wait eagerly to see you back in the ring.
Champion, mate. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And now to the main event on December 4, and it features the world number 11 and the world number 15 and the Australian middleweight champion. It is the head splitter, Issac Hardman, who joins me now. Issac, always great to speak to you. What a busy time you've had through 2021. This, your 4th fight during a pandemic year as well.
Yeah, like I was saying, this sport is too hard to do without fighting. So busy year's a good year, 4 fights in 7 months. So especially in COVID as well. So people make excuses not to fight. you know, I got the opportunities and I ran it straight. So I'm excited.
How's your body feeling after all of those fights and all the training that you will have been doing through this year?
Yeah, body's good. Like I always refining the process each fight, so we get better and better. And you know, I never had an amateur career. I've only been in boxing since the start of 2019, really. So you know, I've got a lot of time to get better. Body's feeling good, and my coach Blair Studley, he is a magician. So you know, we're preparing well, and I can't wait to get out there and finish the year off with a bang.
And being busy is paying dividends for you as well. It must feel good when you look at the IBF rankings and you see your name there at number 15 and the WBO and you see your name there at number 11. You've really made some waves.
Yeah, and like 11 fights in, that's unheard of to be positioned where I am. You know, you look at all the guys in front of me, like the Liam Williams, the Eubanks, all their first 10 to 15 fights are against people with losing records, you know. I'm positioned where I am because I take the hard fights and the opportunities that come my way, and I perform. So being only 11 fights in and where I'm placed at the moment is, you know, unheard of in my division. You know, looking at the scale of it and the people in front of me and stuff like that, they're not taking the fights I'm taking. So I'm taking the hard road and it's paying dividends. So look where I am at 25 years old, 11 fights in, world ranked.
And you've gained quite a bit of popularity and notoriety in Australian boxing by being quite outspoken. You must be starting to really enjoy that part of the process, saying what you think about other fighters and about people not wanting to fight you at different times?
Yeah, for sure. Like, honesty is the best policy in my book. So, you know, and I think the Australian public wasn't on my side to start with because I was an MMA fighter that had no amateur boxing and didn't do my apprenticeship in the boxing amateur circuit. So, but now, you know, my truth cuts through and people are starting to agree with it or see it for what it is, and that's me just being brutally honest. And people can relate to that. You like it or not. Some people won't. Some people don't like the truth, but that's exactly what I say. And most of the time, I'm bang on.
And gee, you're not a fan of Michael Zarafa by the sounds of things.
Nah, he's a proper flea bag. I can't wait to smash that guy. But I'm not even thinking about him at the moment. I've got to get past Adam Stowe first. But, yeah, Zarafa, no one likes that guy.
What do you think about Adam Stowe? Because he's such a lovely bloke. You've got to make yourself not like him, though, don't you?
He is a good fella. He's a great fella. Probably a guy I could sit with and have a beer, which is, you know, unheard of in my books. And, you know, that was like Mark Lucas as well. I had no trouble punching his head in it as well. And, you know, we talk weekly. You know, I'm going to have him at my house for a training camp, you know, so he's a good fella. So that's the thing. I don't have to not like someone to bounce my gloves off their head. But it does make it a little bit more satisfying when I don't like them. But, you know, Adam Stowe, he's going to wear some punches and he's going to fall over and I'm going to get paid, and that's just the way it goes.
And you're going to be headlining a show which features some great names as well, which must feel good for you. You've got a former heavyweight world champion on your undercard. You've got a cruiserweight who's about to fight for a world title as well. Big moment.
Yeah, it is. It's my first main event in the boxing ring. I had a fair few in my MMA days. But it is a milestone for me, and I'm really excited about heading this card with, there's a lot of star power on it, so to be put at the top of the bill is quite an accomplishment. And I think my skills and what I've done previously in the last 3 fights speak for itself, and that's why I'm positioned at the top of this card. And I'm going to close the show with a bang.
What happens in this fight? I'm sure you're predicting a stoppage. Is it an early one? Is it brutal?
Yeah, it's always going to be brutal. I'm going to walk straight up to Adam Stowe and bounce my gloves off his head, and then shortly after that, his head will bounce off the canvas. I'll leave, get paid, and have Christmas. That's how it finishes within 5 rounds. And if not, I'll buy everyone in that venue a beer.
Okay, well, we look forward to seeing how that all plays out. And what happens after this, aside from the beer buying and Christmas? Is it Michael Zarafa you've got an eye on, or is it someone else within probably the top 10 of the middleweight divisions?
No, it'll definitely be Michael Zarafa. We've got a contract through, some, you know, going over it at the moment, but off the back of his little SAS stunt, he's going to do that all air February. We'll get that fight, you know, March, April, before I get married to my beautiful fiancée in May. So Zarafa, credit to him, he is positioned well in the world. Don't know how, but he is. He's gotten there. And when I chin him, that'll inject me straight into the top 10 best boxers in the middleweight division in the world. So definitely that fight will happen, whether it be on this great platform in Fox Sports or not. It's going to happen either way. I get my hands on Michael Zarafa and I can't wait.
Why don't you like him? What is it that's happened? Is it just the back and forth, or was it the process around him pulling out of the Tim Tszyu fight, or what's led to all this?
You know, going back in my DMs on Instagram, I was a bit of a fan of Michael Zarafa. We were very amicable, and he would congratulate me, I'd congratulate him, and then he just started. What it was, he became the man that was in front of me. I'm not in this sport to make friends. I've made that quite clear. I'm not friends with anyone. So the guy, he was number one, I was number two. So I'm going to start calling his name. It makes sense to me. I'm not going to call for the number 3 or 4 behind me. So, then he got his bee in the bonnet. He had a bee in his bonnet about it while I was saying his name, just because you're the guy in front of me. And then, certain things shouldn't be said and stuff like that. And he said some things, make out that I'm an alcoholic drunk online, which is something, he's a big advocate for mental health. And what if I was something like that, and he's just spraying me all online? That's not the way to build a fight. Says, just stuff that he's crossed the line, so I can't wait to smash him, and he's just a crybaby. I can't wait to smash his head in.
He's an accomplished boxer, though. It's a tough fight, even though you go in there full of confidence. It would be a step up for you, certainly. How do you beat Michael Zarafa, given the experience he's had and what he has achieved as a boxer?
Yeah, he has had good fights, but when I say that, he's lost those good fights, and it's been a win-win opportunity. He fought Kell Brook, Peter Quinlan and stuff like that. That's win-win. You go over to their backyard, that's not really you can't lose in that opportunity. He's 10 rounds with Kell Brook and whatnot, so he is accomplished. He's a good boxer, but I squash him like the little cockroach he is. I'm too big for him. He's not a middleweight. I don't know why he's playing around with the middleweights. He's a super welterweight at best. And, when I hit him, he's going to stay hit, and that's the end of him. And I think he packs his bags after I'm done with him, because he's made a big point of me not being able to box. And when I box his ears off and then eventually render him unconscious, he packs his bags and gets out of boxing.
Well, before all that, you're going to have to get past Adam Stowe. And now there's a lot on the line as well, because so you're going to shout the whole venue if you don't get rid of him before the start of round 5. Is that what it is?
End of round 5.
End of round 5.
End of round 5. 5 rounds and I'm shouting everyone. And that's probably going to be my payday, yeah. But that'll get done within 5 rounds. But, yeah, like you said, there's a lot riding on this fight. And Adam Stowe's coming to fight, People probably won't give him the credit he deserves, but he's a tough bugger, and he's got a big opportunity in front of him too. Imagine if I get chinned by Adam Stowe, he gets the world rankings, all the belts, possibly a fight with Michael Zarafa. I'm not sure. So I've got everything to lose in this fight, and that's the risk you run with wanting to stay busy. Just like you're seeing Tim Tszyu, he had his mandatory world title opportunity. He ran the risk of taking a fight, and it paid off for him. So that's what I'm doing as well. So I could sit on the shelf, enjoy Christmas, and then fight Michael Zarafa sometime next year. But I want to stay busy, and like I said, this sport's too hard to do without fighting. So it's going to be a good fight. Adam's going to come to fight. I feel like he deserves more credit than he's getting. He's not going to be no pushover, unlike Michael Zarafa's next opponent, who's lost 6 of his last 7. Adam's on a winning streak. He's had some good competition, so it's all or nothing for me in December 4.
Yeah, it's exciting times, Isaac. What's planned for the rest of the afternoon? Any rollerblading with your pet dog?
Pet dogs. I've got another one now named Canelo. So, yeah, I might go for a scoot down the Brisbane River with the dogs on the rollerblades, mow the lawn, might drink some gin, I don't know. Nah, I'll save that until after the fight. But, yeah, mow the lawn, take the boys for a rollerblade.
All right. Sounds fantastic. Great always to talk to you, Issac Hardman. Really looking forward to calling your fight, mate.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate the time.
So that is Issac Hardman. He is taking on Adam Stowe as part of this big card on December the 4th that you'll see on Fox Sports 507. I'm Ben Damon. I'll see you at the fights.